What's a single valuable piece of information you would like to share? The most important piece of information you can give 911 is where you are, followed by what the problem is. Even if no other information is given, someone can still be sent to a location to see what the problem is. Bonus: if you accidentally call 911, just stay on the line and tell them it was an accident. It happens a lot. They won't be mad. If you hang up, they have to call you back. That is irritating. One time when I was like 14, I was home alone, taking a shower. I heard banging sounds and got freaked out. I was paranoid someone was trying to break in, or maybe was already inside. So I went around the house searching all potential hiding spots, biggest knife I could find in one hand, phone in the other. To be prepared, I had dialed 911, so all I had to do was push call if there really was an emergency. My mom told me later that the phone would automatically put the call through if it was to 911. Right parenthesis I deemed the house clear, then looked at the phone. Only then did I realize I was in a call. Panicked, I just hung up. Of course, they called back. I let it ring for a while, then figured it'd be worse if I didn't answer. I honestly explained to the person that I thought I heard sounds, dialed 911, didn't mean for the call to go through, then hung up because I was embarrassed. I assured her that everything was fine and begged her not to send anyone. In retrospect, that's probably why they sent someone. Except they didn't tell me they were sending anybody, so when I got a violent knock on my door, I answered it with that same knife behind my back. More than 10 years later, and I'm still embarrassed about the whole situation. I can say from experience, that is up to the operator's discretion to send someone in such situations, and they will usually err on the side of caution. I personally would have told you that I was sending an officer to check. But the reason was probably that if you were in danger, they wouldn't have wanted to alert your attacker to help on the way. This actually saved a woman in an episode of a true crime podcast I like. She had hit the silent alarm the dispatcher calls, and she said everything was fine because the guy had a gun and the phone was on speaker. The dispatcher thought her voice sounded off, so sent the police. They surrounded the building and saved her within seconds of being choked to death. Never make a large financial decision without considering all the tax consequences. Also, 20,000 leagues under the sea refers to the distance traveled, not submerged depth. Dang, that second one never occurred to me. Would have never fathomed it. Extremely useful website most people probably don't know about. Radio Garden, https radio Garden, listen to radio around the world. Picapicadios, https picapicadios.com/ discover shopping deals and discounts across Amazon, Target and Best Buy. Libgem, https Libgem is download almost any textbook as e-copy. Sci-Hub, https Sci-Hub. XR Top gives free access to download almost any paper. Terms of service, didn't he read? https tost.org/ summarizes terms of service and rates them for privacy. Futureme.org, https www.futureme.org. You can use it to send emails to the future you. Been using it for almost 3 years. It helps put into perspective how much has changed over the course of a year. Photopea, https www.photopea.com, online image editor with Photoshop feature. 12 feet, https 12 feet.io. It bypasses all paywalls and removes all ads from any web page I have found. Show me a 10 feet paywall, I'll show you a 12 feet ladder. No install, just copy and paste your link or just download. https Judgement.com. This website has every single PC game from the 70s, 80s, 90s till the early 2000s. My abandonware is a far better option than old games. Download FLIGHTRADAR24, https www.FLIGHTRADAR24.com. Wondering where that plane, jet, or helicopter is going? Check them out. Note: don't buy anything on that site, just use it for further info only. Unsplash. https unsplash.com. Tons of free to use images of damn near everything. Use the library for everything you can. Textbooks, movies, games, news. Hope all these would also help r/frugal r/discontented products /perverted finance budget bytes.com. https www.budgetbytes.com/ I can't wait to save this comment and never use any of this exclamation point, just like the last 10 times I've done it. After smoking a joint I've gone through and saved them all as bookmarks, convinced every one of them will change my life. I will have forgotten by the morning and they'll drop into the abyss that is Chrome bookmarks. I was going to forever change my life, but then I got high. Some credit cards cover accidental damage to electronics for a predefined period of time. Use those cards for buying computers and electronics. To add to this, unless you genuinely can't control your spending, you should absolutely have a credit card. The biggest reason is for the fraud protection. If someone fraudulently uses your credit card number, they haven't actually touched your money. You tell the bank you see an unauthorized transaction, they cancel it and send you a new card. That's it. You won't be able to use the card for a couple of days while waiting for the new one, but the money in your account is safe. If they use your debit card number, they get the money in your account. The bank will probably give it back, but they don't have to if they decide it's your fault. And you will likely lose access to the account for a couple of days. Also, purchase protection. If you buy literally anything and the company fails to deliver, or the product you receive is garbage, and the company refuses to help, chargebacks are super easy. Don't overuse it, and always try to talk to the company first, but this is a great benefit. A few years ago I pre-ordered a $600 item about 8 months in advance. When they were supposed to ship out, the company said that they would be behind schedule because of COVID, then several months later declared bankruptcy and ceased to exist. I contacted the lawyer's office handling the bankruptcy and they said I wasn't getting my money back because there wasn't any. Filed a chargeback with the card I used, got my money back within a week. In addition to cash rewards, some cards have rental car damage coverage, free trip insurance, emergency medical coverage if you are traveling to another country, a warranty extension on certain products, roadside assistance, etc. If you can't qualify for one because you have no credit, start with a secured card to build credit. You deposit the money up front, so basically a debit card, and then use it and pay it off as a credit card. It is perfectly possible to make no mistakes and still lose. This is not a weakness, it is LIFE. Yes, it's a Picard quote, but it is very accurate. Also, if you think you can't lose because you don't play, you're wrong. You can still lose. Often that means you just lose by default. Some people are way too comfortable about their trolley problem. Don't drive if you haven't slept in the last 24 hours. A person who has been awake for 24 hours is as cognitively impaired as a person who is drunk. Driving home from my 24-hour shifts as an EMT was always, wait, I have no memory of driving home. Paramedic here. One of the most terrifying things that happened to me in my career was exactly this. I was at a high-volume urban service. Got asked to pull a 36 as my relief the next morning, called out. We ran hard for about 33 or so of those hours, solid. A good majority of them were legit emergencies, including 2 cardiac arrests, if I remember correctly. Finally get back to the station. I went to bed in the squat bay. Woke up at home. Zero memory of the trip. Sat bolt upright and had a full adrenaline dump. Scared me half to death. Next shift asked around and was told I looked pretty tired, so my partner did truck turnover and told me to go home. Found my uniform strewn in line across my living room, pointing towards the bedroom. Refused to pick up consecutive overtime on busy trucks after that. As a medic, union will not allow me to work that many hours. If the person replacing me calls out, my 2-person truck becomes a 1-person first response until they find someone. We are not allowed to double shift. You leave at the end of the current. There's some leeway for calls that go over, but there is a mandatory period of hours before you can work again. If I hopped on a shift with someone who'd been up for 24 plus, I am pretty sure I'd send them home. The firefighters here work 24s, but have mandatory downtime within those 24s. My goodness, I don't know how that's not illegal in your area. That was back in the day, non-union service. My current job is a union shop. 36 hours is maximum before mandatory 8 hours off per the contract. So it could definitely happen now. People, especially new basics, routinely run 36s in a high-volume urban system, where they are up almost the entire time, consistently. Often they'll take the 8 hours off in the bunk room, and pull another 12 or 24. It's lunacy. A drop knife has no handle. Don't try to catch it. And jump backwards. I'm generally barefoot in the kitchen. Better to have the knife stick into the floor than your foot. Hands away and hop a step back. If you look like you just intentionally dropped that shit, you're doing it right. If your reaction looks like it's an accident, trying to save your mistake, you risk having an actual accident. Not very many people care about you. Cherish the ones who do. What if there are none, and you feel all alone? Cherish yourself. Become your own best friend. Try new things. Don't get cooped up and bored. People will come and go, but you won't make anyone want to stay with you, if you yourself won't want to stay with you. It starts with you. Yeah, I have been trying. And honestly it's hard. My best friend just ghosted me, and the only other friend is busy too. It's like all the buzz and warmth around me has suddenly vanished. You gotta find your own peace, my friend. It all starts with your mind. Easier said than done, I know. One of those simple, but not easy, things. If you're outside during a storm, and get a metallic taste in your mouth for seemingly no reason, then you are about to get struck by lightning. What do? Try to run and get to cover. Edit. I love the serious and non-serious answers. Thanks for the entertainment. Seek low ground. Don't shelter under a high point like a tree, since it will act as a lightning rod and you will still get fried to a crisp. Worst case scenario, you are out in flat open ground with no shelter. Don't lie down, cause if the lightning hits nearby, the ground will be electrified, and you will still get fried to a crisp. The best option is to squat down into a ball. Get as low as possible, but minimize your contact with the ground. This way your exposure will be minimized, unless it hits you directly, in which case you will still get fried to a crisp. Believe it or not, straight to fried crisp. Under a tree, laying down, standing like a constipated flamingo, all straight to a crisp. How about his wife? To a crisp, you say? I too choose this guy's crispy wife. You always think you're going to have more time. You won't. Make the most of today. This is the best life advice. My best mate died in December at 29. We'd planned 20 years of fun. Nothing's guaranteed. Waking up the next morning is the gift we all take for granted. I'm sorry for your loss. That's way too young. I hope you find a way to honor him, and have fun too. My mom passed in her sleep less than 2 months ago. She was 62, but could have had another 20 years left. It hasn't sunk in, and I don't think I'll ever get used to it. My younger brother passed away this February. He was 27. We all think we have time, and this year we plan to spend time together and take some adventures, something we have not done since 2007. It hurts so much thinking that it was something he wanted, and it pains me more knowing I didn't spend much time in his adult life and won't get that chance. I miss him so much. I don't know what happiness is anymore.